Shared parental leave, as the name implies, it means that parents, including adopters, will be able to share leave in caring for their child during the first year of the child's life or following adoption. However, the first 2 weeks of maternity leave will remain compulsory for the mother following the birth of her child, but the remaining 50 weeks can be shared, as can up to 37 weeks of parental pay. So when will the new regime take effect? It will apply to children born or adopted after 5th of April 2015, so you need to be planning for it now. How will it work? The notice provisions are extremely complicated. However, in the majority of cases, agreement is likely to be reached between the parent and their employer. Some key points to note, however. Firstly, 8 weeks' notice must be given before the start date of the shared parental leave. Secondly, your employee can issue up to 3 leave notices, including notices to vary a previous notice. Thirdly, the notices can state that a continuous period is sought, in which case you cannot object to it. Alternatively, a discontinuous period can be requested, in which case, as an employer, you can refuse it, but the leave will then default to 1 continuous period of leave unless the employee withdraws the request. So what evidence is required to enable an employee to take such leave? Well, the first point to note, there is no obligation upon you as an employer to seek evidence. You're entitled to request a copy of the child's birth certificate or documents notifying the primary adopter that the child has been placed with them, together with the names and addresses of the other parent's employer. However, in so doing, you have to consider why you are asking for that information. As an employer, you owe a general duty of trust and confidence to your employee, so care will need to be taken as to how you use such evidence. How much will you have to pay your employee? The employee concerned will be entitled to shared parental leave pay, which is effectively the same as maternity leave pay. However, if your organisation pays mothers maternity pay in excess of their statutory right, for example, schools under the Burgundy Book, you'll need to consider what you pay a partner taking shared parental leave. On the face of it, you'll only be obliged to pay them the statutory shared parental leave rate. However, that might be challenged as being sex discriminatory against male employees. You'll need to consider a consistent approach in relation to both your male and female employees to minimise this risk. The government is clearly keen to encourage employers to ensure that both partners are treated exactly the same from a financial point of view. The Deputy Prime Minister has recently announced that all civil service employees will be entitled to full parental pay when the new provisions take effect, and he hopes that this will, in his words, blaze a trail for other public and private sector organisations to follow. So, does a partner have any particular protection if they take shared parental leave? Well, a male employee is put in exactly the same position as a female employee taking maternity leave, so that, for example, were a redundancy to occur during the period of shared parental leave, they would be entitled to be appointed to a suitable alternative role if one existed, in preference to other members of staff who are not on shared parental leave or maternity leave. As an employer, what should you be doing now in preparation for the new regime? Well, I think first of all, these regulations are likely to require a change in culture. For example, following the recently introduced right to all employees with more than 26 weeks employment to seek flexible working, a male employee was able to persuade an employment tribunal that he'd been discriminated against because the employer had looked favourably upon a request for flexible working from women, but not from men. In addition, you'll need to review your existing policies, and to assist you with that, we would recommend you have a look at the ACAS guide, which has just been issued. If you would like a draft template for shared parental leave for birth parents, we would be pleased to provide you one without charge. If so, please call me, Nick Watson, on 01225 324435, or if you prefer, email me at nw@stoneking.co.uk.